a black congresswoman, Ilhan Omar, to a consistent stream of attacks and racist rhetoric. And just this past week, his DOJ arrested 2 black journalists for their coverage of a protest in Minneapolis. And yet none of that will stop us from celebrating the ingenuity, artistry, and power of black communities, especially on the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. Tremaine Lee is still here with us. He is also the author of 1,000 Ways to Die, The True Cost of Violence on Black Life in America. So, Tremaine, in spite of all of this, how are we celebrating this month? What are we doing?
You know, I think we need to, that it should be our forever mission is to educate ourselves on the true role of black people in this country. It's arguable that we are the most American of all, because in the founding of this country, they didn't believe in equality. They didn't believe in public schooling. They didn't believe in any of the things that black people fought and died for, let alone that we're all equal. And so I think on this month and every month, we should be reminding ourselves, because the Trump administration has centered at worst a white supremacist ideal, at best an anti-black ideal. We need to remind ourselves of who we really are, right? And when we beg this country, you know, we say this isn't who we are, when we see the abuses of power and the stripping of rights and the violence heaped upon people's shoulders, that this is who we are, but we're also something else. I had a conversation years ago with a avowed racist, and he said, well, you know, those guys were just men of their times. But during those times, there were abolitionists, and there were allies, and there were people fighting for the wholeness of the American experience, right? For all of us to be included. And so I think we need to remind ourselves of that dual truth that we exist in.
How hard does that become when you have an administration that is actively trying to delete, erase, prevent the education of that very specific issue that you're talking about? I mean, they're trying to remove books from bookshelves. They're deleting the profiles and erasing the profiles of prominent black Americans. They're trying to make it almost taboo to celebrate anything to do with black America and black history in America. Yeah. And so you're talking about the importance of that, and you have an administration actively trying to do and counter the exact opposite of that.
It is certainly hard on the best of days, let alone days like this. But lest we forget, after Reconstruction was torn down, we had the bloody summers on and on of black people being lynched across this country, being pushed as far back into slavery as possible, that black people built institutions and built schools and built businesses during the darkest and worst of times. And as we talk about this idea of a nadir, the second one, right? We're in that moment now. I think it's incumbent upon black people and people who care about freedom and justice and America, like really care about it, to make sure that we are pushing to restore our dignity and humanity, but also the fullness of our citizenship. And that's why we still fight, because in reality, we haven't experienced the full breadth of citizenship in this country.
What do you make of these comments that we've heard recently from J.D. Vance, for example, talking about how white people no longer need to apologize for being white? A lot of the examples that have been mentioned already about books being taken out of curricula, or the slavery exhibit in Philadelphia being removed. It's about, like, people shouldn't be made to feel bad about the past. What do you make of that argument? Like, what's the subtext or the text there?
This is part of a long continuum here. You know, when we think about the Daughters of the Confederacy after slavery was torn down, taking control of the first thing they did, the school boards and the books and the statues, to remind white people of the greatness of white people, right? And the idea of painting plantation life and slavery as this good old jolly time, and that there were good slave masters. There's no such thing as a good slave master. But as long as you can make sure you seed those stories in the minds of the American public writ large, and you carve out and erase, black history and our role in it, then it makes it easy to normalize the abuses, right? Whiteness was created in service of white supremacy, and all of these are extensions of that kind of white supremacy. And so it's not about whether this moment is necessarily different than the ones we've seen before. It's that they keep getting life and keep getting breath, and they keep getting normalized in the mainstream.
I think the other thing, too, is, like, black people, black families have always had to supplement education at home. I mean, even under Democratic administrations or seemingly more friendly or diversity-minded administrations, there's still been a persistent feeling across the country that public schools or private schools have failed kids of color. And so I think even now when you see these things torn down, it's outrageous and it's painful for people, but they kind of dig in and they're going to still do a lot of the work that our families already do. to affirm our own kids or our cousins or our neighbors, because we've kind of had to do that the whole time anyway.
I think what's so upsetting about the disregard for celebrating Black History Month is just that it's such a conscious choice. They want to do this. They want everyone to know that they are saying this does not matter. They are trying to appeal to a certain sector of the electorate. It's so deliberate because it's not that hard to celebrate Black History Month. And, you know, so many different months that are celebrated by the administration, and just the political strategy of wanting this negative attention because they actually might believe it.
But it's easy to be anti-black because a big portion of this country is already anti-black. And so they're not risking anything politically. And one of my big concerns is, and we think about when we were young growing up with black books and black characters, making sure that we're centered in this, is that there are going to be some black people amid the chilling effect of all the violent rhetoric around anti-wokeness and anti-DE&I, is saying, like, you know what, tone it down and calm it down. And maybe we'll put our energies in assimilation more than carving out your rightful place in this country. And so that is a real concern for me.
Come children, say it loud. Make them know we're still black and proud.
Join us again tomorrow, same time, for more in the GBE, the Great Black Experience on Freedom FM 106.5.
African leaders just wait. Garvey action we can duplicate. Black pride indeed preach. To the young we must teach. Put Garvey in reality. Make me check in philosophy. Talking about African dignity in a this insanity. Talking about our history that began before slavery. Come children, say it loud. Make them know we're still black and proud. Scabba-dabba-da.
Turn up the sound. Check this out. Listen. Freedom FM.
Back to school shouldn't meet you unprepared. St. Kitts Credit Union's Back to School Loan helps you borrow up to $10,000 with flexible repayment plans, fast approval, supportive terms. Invest in your child's future with confidence, because every child deserves a strong start. Start today at www.skccu.com or call 465-2272. SKCU, invested in their future with you.
Friday's calling, and it's calling for a Guinness. Every Friday, it's Guinness Happy Hour at Champions Bar and Last Lap, 5 p.m. to 6:30. Buy one Guinness, get one free. 2 stouts for the price of one. 1 hour and a half. Zero excuses. Guinness. Drink responsibly.
From St. Kitts and Nevis to the world, Freedom FM 106.5 FM. FreedomFM1065.com.
Every day we're faced with choices: to spend or to save, to delay or to stay on track. It's discipline that shapes our future, because discipline means making the choice today that pays off tomorrow. Remember, discipline, choice, pays. A message from the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis.
It's 1:39 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. It's time for Groundings. It's a Friday afternoon. Today is actually the 24th of July, 2026. As usual, we have the panel here. We have Mr. Sam Condor and we have Dr. Patrick Martin. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
gentlemen.
Jamie. Good afternoon, and let's apologize for the late start in the program. But we're here. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Patrick.
Jamie said she's going to be with us for a couple of minutes, and then, but she might just stay for the rest of the program.
We'll just make it work.
That's
the whole idea. Make it work.
So good afternoon to the listeners and the viewers to Freedom FM. Thank you for being here. And as you know, you make this program happen. And we're getting Sam's technology organized, but as usual, we discuss items. Oh, it's not working. So, Sam, just check, make sure your mic is. Yeah, your mic is working. Yeah. Okay. So let's say good afternoon to the folks as usual.
Yeah, good afternoon, folks. We're here again. How's Emma said? Good afternoon, folks. That's Emma? Oh, no, not quite.
It's a good try.
Pleasure. Pleasure to be here with you, usual Friday afternoon. You can't find me doing anything better on a Friday afternoon. Just saying hello to all our friends and supporters and well-wishers. Happy to be with you again on another Friday afternoon.
As usual, we continue the discussion of current and historical events of an environmental, social, economic, and political interests and importance too, and impacts on St. Kitts and Nevis. We start off with remembrances, and then we do some shout-outs, and then we get into the main events. On the remembrances ledger, Sam and Jamie, let's see who we have to remember. Walston King Starshield, legendary calypsonian composer, arranger, performer, who we knew for his deep and thought-provoking lyrics. Began his career in 1973. Received National Honors, Medal of Honor for Calypso and Music in 2018, the Spirit of Carnival Award, Calypso category for Sugar Mass Awards 2022. Passed away, what date? July 23, at the age of 69.
Yep.
Your reflections on King Starshield.
One of our all-time great calypsonians, you know. He is a great performer, songwriter, who has led the way in the calypso arena, and as you know, it's interesting that he has followed Elimat so shortly. We have had some interesting contests at Carnival Village in Warner Park between those two guys. And Starshield was always there, punching, had some great songs. I mean, last Saturday morning on Jazzy Day Radio Market, people were trying to find out which one is the most famous one. They can't work it out yet. The Hit and Right, the
Mental Slavery.
Mental Slavery.
Good Shepherd.
Good Shepherd.
The Good Man. Hooray Mass.
Yeah. That one about Justice and the Old Hog. Is that
right.
Justice?
Right. And the World Needs Love, when he was backed up by Eddie the Movements, now called Jam Band. Yeah. Well, I supported him, during those days. I thought he was. I thought he won a couple of shows in the park. I really thought so.
You thought he won them?
He won them.
He won shows already.
Yeah.
What do you mean you thought he won?
I really thought he won them. That's Calypso.
Yeah, and there was some conversation on Radio Market with Jazzy Day last week. Somebody was saying they don't think that the song that he sang with the Elimat, One Car, was the song that they were naming wasn't that song. I don't know what was the result of that, but people were trying to remember which year he sang which song, and they weren't getting it right. But I suppose we'll work out that I mean, it was so interesting.
They brought the best out of each other.
Yep.
And those were heady days, with all due respects. Those were heady days of Calypso in St. Kitts and Nevis. Park full.
Yep. Yeah. Ram Park.
Oh, sorry, I said he passed on July 23, so July 17. July 17.
Yeah.
Park, Ram Park, the tents.
Yeah. In fact, I was able to see him just, I think it's a couple of days before that. I was at the hospital, and Singing Jackie was leaving the hospital, and I asked her, well, who is it you're visiting? She said, I came to see Starshield, he's there. I said, yeah, I heard he was there. I said, well, I better go to see him. And I went right away and was able to see him, and I think it's a day later he died. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, to the family, friends, fans,
the entire Sandy Point community,
people of Sandy Point, we salute a great man. His music will live on forever.
Yep.
And
forever and ever, amen.
Junie, your reflections of him, because you were
MC
front and center.
Yep.
You had a front row seat to the competitions. Elimat, Starshield, Sweeney, Mallet.
And my name called a couple of times.
Fancy.
In fair weather, in foul weather, my name was called. But I recall Starshield in particular because he sang with the Black Roots Calypso tent from time to time. This is a tent organized by yours truly and Brother Levine from the Grand Dash too at Palm Lodge in McKnight. And he would visit us from time to time because we met every weekend, especially coming on to the Carnival Christmas shows. We had legends there like Splinter, well, he played with the band. We had Towel, Bacchus, Barkey, Sweeney was also a founding member of the Black Roots Calypso tent, but more about Starshield. I remember that I met him mostly when he was competing for the Junior Calypso crown as a junior Calypsonian. And I said, this guy got talent, he got skills, and he will reach very far. And he did. He did, leading up to that explosive night at Warner Park when we had a jewelry. I think the grand prize was a car, or a Jeep, or whatever it was. There was a car. And there was a very explosive night because Starshield beat Elimat and was the winner of the first car. I don't think they had any cars after that. But yes, Hitman. Those are some of the big hits. Good Shepherd and
Justice on the Whole Hog, remember that?
Justice on the Whole Hog.
Yeah.
Starshield was a king in his own right.
Yep.
And he was regaled for that in Sandy Point in particular because coming out of Sandy Point, they had a band down there as well. Dynamics. Bacchus, Ali, a lot of Calypsonians come out of that center, that point there in Sandy Point.
Well, again, we say condolences to family, friends, fans, the whole Sandy Point community. We look forward to has a date been declared for his celebration?
I haven't heard anything yet.
So, we'll pay close attention to that.
And keep the listeners in touch with what's going on.
Okay, second remembrance. The Right Excellent Sir Garfield St. Auburn Sobers.
You saw him perform? You ever saw Garfield Sobers?
I'm trying to remember if I saw.
Saw him at one about.
Yeah, but I didn't have the admission, and I couldn't jump the wall. You know. Born July 28, 1936, Chelsea Road, Bayland, St. Michael, Barbados. Died. July 17 too.
Yeah.
St. Michael, Barbados, aged 89.
Yeah. And he's going to be buried on the 28th of July.
28th of this month?
Yeah?
That's Wednesday?
Yeah, I think that's the date of his
state funeral in Barbados. State funeral in Barbados.
At Kensington, Auburn.
That's right.
Sobers is the greatest cricketer I ever saw, whether on live or on TV. I mean, he could bowl spin, back of the hand stuff, the googlies, the flukies, you know. He had also a medium pacer, and you could quicken it up to pace. 3 styles of bowling. Never saw anybody do that before Sobers or after.
Well, here's what BBC wrote.
Yes.
A BBC article says, indeed, he would often take the new ball, bowling left arm fast medium, and then return later in the innings having switched to orthodox left arm spin, that's like Willett, or even left arm wrist spin. When added to his batting and fielding, he was a captain's dream, effectively 5 cricketers in one. Quote unquote.
One of the things that was attractive to me to see Sobers was how he walked to the wicket. I would pay to see that walk.
You know, people used to try to imitate that.
Exactly.
With the collar up. With the collar up.
Dynamic, man.
So Test cricket career from 1954 to 74, 93 matches, 160 innings, not out 21, runs 8,032, 8032, highest score. Let's see who remembers that.
265.
365, not out. Average of 57.8, 26 hundreds and 30 50s. We need a Sobers, right?
They don't make cricketers like
we need a
Sobers.
Sobers. We need a Sobers.
One in
a lifetime.
Yeah.
And listening to the tremendous
Nobody
testimony.
like Sobers.
A very humble guy. A person, sorry. Yeah. So was willing to help young people.
Yeah.
I remember him coming here on a coaching stint. Yeah. And I remember that. Because Junie Mitchum, he was working with Junie Mitchum. That I remember that, but I don't recall seeing him play against Combine Islands. In those days, the park had a hole in it. You had to look through, but then you know, 10 people trying to look through the hole, it didn't quite work.
Gary Sobers.
Right. Let's go on to praises and celebrations. Skylar Connor, Jonathan SKN make history as the first swimmers to represent St. Kitts and Nevis at the Commonwealth Games, going on now, July 23rd to August 2nd. Skylar in the 50-meter freestyle and 50-meter breaststroke. Jonathan, 50-meter butterfly, 100-meter butterfly. Team manager and coach, Eldon Thomas, president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Aquatics Federation. And we also like to shout out the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee for their support of this venture. So usually when you hear Commonwealth Games, you're thinking, well, in the past, track and field, we have had cyclists. Have you had boxing? No. But this is the first time for swimmers. So congratulations, Skylar Connor and Jonathan SKN. Congratulations, España, Campeones del Mundo.
What's that?
Okay, Spain. 220. You have to spend some time around the Spanish to get the Spanish right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 2006 FIFA World Cup champions, but we'll come back to that later. Just to ask if you lost any bet. Did you lose any bets?
No.
Sam?
No.
Junie, you lost any bets?
No.
Okay. So nobody in St. Kitts was back in Argentina, and St. Kitts and Nevis was back in Argentina. I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why too.
Let's go on to the main topics. Gentlemen, we always start with what's happening with the climate and weather. It is dry. Highs in the 80s. The Atlantic Ocean is quiet, mercifully, but we have been being blasted with some Sahara dust. It's quite thick outside there. Did you know that smoke from the Canadian wildfires actually reached here?
Wildfire?
Yeah. But when they were in the high
Canadian
So it floated east. It floated east on the jet stream, and then it got picked up on the trade winds, and some of it came over here.
No, about the Sahara dust.
Yeah. Some of it, so some of the Canadian.
That follows the slave trade, you know. It's Sahara dust.
Gentlemen, the U.S.-Iran war that is intensifying. Would you say the price of oil, Brent crude, was $85 per barrel at noon when I checked it. So we have to expect continued high prices for imported
fuel. The war will
fuel.
finish soon, Dr. Martin. Elections are coming up for Trump.
Election coming up for Trump?
Not for him personally.
The midterm.
The midterm. So he's going to want to get out of the war. People are complaining that the budget is this war budget is strictly paying for the war And
very expensive, very expensive.
And people
billions of dollars.
37 billion.
People can't find the money to buy food,
Mm-hmm.
pay the rent, electricity, water. You know,
People can't find money to buy food in the United States?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Oh.
you know, the amount of people go hungry and homeless in the United States.
Exactly.
Okay.
The rich United States.
The budget so far is 37 billion, which is 37 times the GDP of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our GDP is 1 billion. Our GDP is 1 billion US.
And they want money to carry it up in the trillions. They want more money.
Prime Minister meets Afrexim Bank officials while in London. The agenda with the Afrexim Bank, he looked at some.
Which Prime Minister?
Ours. Prime Minister, thank you for that, Terence Drew. Spoke with the Afrexim Bank officials in London while he was there, talking about water security, renewable energy, and digital transformation. Gentlemen, nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves in conjunction with partners, willing partners. So the Afrexim Bank appears to be a willing partner.
Yep.
We have to continue to forge and consolidate the partnerships, OECS, CARICOM, and multilateral financial institutions like the Afrexim Bank. Moving right along, gentlemen, a sad story, the Guyana riverboat disaster. MV Barima sinking up to yesterday when we wrote the notes, 76 recovered, 65 known to have perished. This tragedy really hits home for us because it's around this time that we have the Christina disaster, August 1st, 1970. Yeah? August 1st, 1970, 91 survived, 233 perished. So maritime safety, a very serious matter. Let us all commit to complying with all international standards, national regulations, and crew instructions. Issue number 3. Iran must not have nuclear capability. Is that agreed?
Says who?
And that was the pretext for the U.S. going to war with Iran. But on Wednesday, the U.S. approved a nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia. Oh. So Iran must not have nuclear, but Saudi Arabia could have. Okay.
United States decide who have and who must not have.
Israel objected to the deal. Will Israel be sanctioned for speaking out?
Israel never gets sanctioned by.
Iran is not happy about the deal. As you know, Iran and Saudi Arabia are not on friendly terms. Iran is predominantly Shia Muslim. Saudi Arabia is predominantly Sunni. The division between Shia and Sunni began as a 7th century political dispute over who should lead after the Prophet Muhammad died. This goes back centuries. So Junie thinks that the war will be over shortly. Sam, what do you think? I think.
How long is it going on now? 5 months, 6 months?
5, 6 months, yeah.
I think
I'm not hopeful. Are you hopeful?
But you know, we just don't call. I don't think Trump would want this to go down into October, November, for midterms. That certainly will not do him any good. So I believe we are going to see serious efforts in the next couple of weeks to try and have a resolution.
But speaking of which, there was a War Powers resolution. Okay, somebody's going to tell us, but there was a War Powers resolution being debated. Whether or not it passed, we'll get some more information on that. Issue number 4. When artificial intelligence goes rogue. You following that story?
Yeah.
ChatGPT is investigating the unprecedented cyber incident. What is that? Imagine my AI hacked yours.
I wonder if they put all that money what they're putting into those things into human development. What do you think the world? You don't think the world will be a better place if all that money we're spending in AI? If we put all that in human development,
Or even 25%. Conceivably, gentlemen, a rogue AI can colonize a home network, a public network, and disrupt operations at Freedom FM.
Yep.
So digital security is a big deal, and it's an opportunity for youngsters out there. Digital security. Okay. Issue number 4, or is it 5? I stopped counting. It says 4 here. Let's go to the FIFA World Cup, some lessons and reflections. Let's start with Junie. You had some lessons and reflections.
It was a farce.
What was a farce?
The FIFA World Cup in favor of Argentina. Everything was good for them to win. I mean, the way I saw some fouls that they committed that weren't called, and you rub up against an Argentina player and you get a yellow card. And the intervention by Trump further solidified my view that, you know, the guy who was in charge of the World Cup, what's his name? Pantomime? What's his name?
Infantino.
A guy called his name.
Gianni Infantino.
Yeah.
Infantino.
They allowed Trump to influence him with a decision to not bar a U.S. player. I don't know how Trump get all that power, but you could see that there was something on with the way the foul the refereeing was done. The refereeing was suspect, and that guy there needs to be removed from that position. He did a terrible job.
Terrible job. Including the what is it, halftime show?
Yeah.
Which was, I mean,
halftime show.
I mean, that was
football. Preposterous.
I mean, you ever seen anything like that?
Never.
I mean, the man just spoiled the whole World Cup, corrupted the whole thing. I mean, World Cup don't need anything. No, World Cup doesn't need any sideshow.
It was clear to me, Sam, and I agree with what you're saying, that there had to be some kind of pre-meeting prior to the World Cup between the officials and, what's his name?
Gianni
Infantino. Because of the way the games were called, the way things turned out, I mean, it was clear that everything was good for Argentina to win and for Messi to get golden boots and whatever else he was.
No, he didn't get anything.
Good.
He didn't win any individual award.
No.
Did the best team win?
Yes.
In the end?
I think so.
Spain was the best team.
Here's some analysis I read. They were best in terms of teamwork. Argentina.
One goal scored against them.
One goal scored against them in 8
whole
games.
Tournament.
Yeah.
And on BBC, somebody remarked that if every 8 games you play in any level of football, if every 8 games you play, you only concede 1 goal, you will win any cup. Argentina was too Messi focused, whereas Spain played as a team.
Spain dominated.
Fast play, possession 67%. Yeah. Argentina's first shot was in the 107th minute. Can you imagine that? Spain had played with controlled passion. You could see Argentina players were letting emotion get the better of them. Family member of mine said Argentina was playing rugby.
Yeah, it was clear to me because after the game in particular, I saw one.
That's a good description.
I saw one of the Argentina players.
That was my father. He said Argentina was playing rugby.
And hold him in his throat.
Yeah.
I mean, those fellas were, like wrestling, man. They were holding people in lock
and kicking them and slapping them and all kinds of things.
Even at the end of the game.
Yes.
You saw that.
Is what. Yeah. Especially at the end of the game.
Yeah. I mean,
those guys are ruffians, man.
Gentlemen, when I was growing up in sports, and I'm still growing up, I was told that football, like all sports, is 100% mental and the rest is physical ability. It's about your high performance is a mental thing. You agree with that, Sam?
It's mental.
If the England team had to understand that they would have win the semi-finals. The semi-finals, they lost.
Tell me, what did they do?
England,
what did England do?
The strategy in the second half.
Terrible.
That's why they lost.
Terrible, yeah. Terrible.
You put one in and then you go and defend.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go on defense and you didn't bring on anybody who could hold the ball, run with it. what the guy named? Saka or one of those guys, you know, who really would run at the defenders, hold the ball, good.
Even Rashford.
Yeah.
Even Rashford.
Oh, Rashford.
Yeah.
I mean, they just made a mess of it.
Gentlemen, FIFA made 14 billion. That's billion with a B. So now you understand why we had halftime show?
Halftime.
Yeah.
And hydration breaks?
So that's the norm, that's going to be the new norm in football now. We're going to get hydration.
I don't
No,
think so.
no. UEFA said they're not having any hydration breaks. Okay.
No.
Some of that billion, a few pennies will come our way.
Oh.
In technical and other supports.
They usually give all the
member states get something. But we have to have a plan, and you have to have strict accountability and no government involvement. Yeah.
FIFA talking about that.
Government
strict accountability. FIFA.
Huh?
FIFA talking about accountability.
Yeah, well, you know. What do you think about the VAR technology?
Oh, boy, that's something.
The video thing?
You like it? At that level, should be kept?
Yeah, I think at that level it should be kept. Because
once it's consistently applied,
referee,
right?
Right, consistency, and the referee doesn't see everything.
Yeah.
And that is the like a backup.
And really, that could make a difference in losing or winning a game, you know? Because, I wondered, I mean, how we played without, well, you know, we played with, Maradona could score a goal with the hand. And,
did he? The referee didn't call it. If the referee didn't call it, it didn't happen.
That was Maradona punching
Maradona against England, Mexico City.
Henry. Yeah. Thierry Henry, who flicking one with the hand.
But the linesman missed it too?
The
linesman can't call those.
Yeah, of course.
Well, who was the first person ever to score a ball with their hand in Warner Park?
Who was the first person?
Yeah.
Haggerty.
I'll give it. No, it was Mikey Martin.
Oh my God! There has to be somebody, one of those guys.
Santos. Gentlemen, can CFU, Caribbean Football Union member states like St. Kitts and Nevis, compete at this level of fast play, possession, mental momentum, toughness, a couple elbows, and so?
They can't compete now, but if they practice. If they practice and have a coach who is that way inclined, they could.
The average...
The mental thing, as you said.
I checked out Mbappe's height and weight. Mbappe, 5'11", 167 pounds. Lamal, Yamin is in the same vicinity.
Who's Lamal?
Spain winger.
Yeah. That's the teenager.
Yeah,
the
19.
youngster. Wait, 17?
It's 19.
19.
Haaland from Norway is 200 pounds at 6'5", something like that. Our guys have to put on some muscle together.
We only had four teenagers in world football, in FIFA football. Right?
Now, speaking of which, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, Mbappe, all those people, they have been in youth academies since primary school.
Yeah.
Remember that?
They're going to academies. Yeah.
And
well trained.
And in Lamal's case, his parents had to take 2 trains to get to the Barcelona training camp. They eventually allowed them to live in the academy, but that is symbolic of some of their sacrifice at that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Time is of the essence.
Well, so it's only 2:10.
Yes.
Okay, time is of the essence. One more point. The impact of migrants or children of migrants on the champion teams in the World Cup. That was very evident, would you say? Spain, France, England.
Mm-hmm. England, almost, England.
Germany.
Yeah.
What happened to Argentina?
No, not Argentina.
Oh.
Well, the other guy from Argentina who they didn't allow to play, they said they had one.
I didn't know that.
I didn't see any in the picture lineup.
No.
I didn't see any playing either. Why? Why would Argentina?
If you Google why no black people, you'll get a pop-up that says in Argentina back in the day, black people were described as the Brazilian problem. They were.
Yeah.
Black people in Brazil. They still are.
Because black people were suppressed, their rights, they had their rights suppressed in Argentina.
They were sent to the front line of the wars for independence.
And they then imported Italians and white people from
There was a
Europe.
deliberate policy to de-blackify, if there's such a word, Argentina.
Yeah.
With this corollary, that is Brazil's problem.
Black people is Brazil's
So
problem.
that's why they were regarded as the villain in this.
That guy that came here, the social influencer.
I Shall Speed.
Yeah, he was there. And he got some booze, and they call him Monkey. And he made some ape sounds and stances towards him. I'm glad that he shot it and covered that so people could see the level of racism that exists from Argentina. I found it was disgraceful, shocking to say the least.
Yeah, Argentina. I mean, you saw the behavior after the game with England.
Yeah.
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 Had England not won that third game, I bet you would have heard some talk about people of African descent on the team.
Yeah.
Had they not
Why you
won
say
that
that?
third.
Why you say that?
Remember what happened in the Euros?
The Euro, when Saka and his
was it Rashford?
Yeah.
Missed penalties?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
England went on bad because...
Yeah, I mean, the fellas couldn't catch themselves, man.
The social media accounts were
Yeah.
flooded.
Yeah, that was the final against, it was France? Or
Spain.
Spain. Against Spain.
Well, behavior is the same, kit and kin, you know. So you shouldn't be surprised knowing what England did to Africans during the slave period.
So those are some of the lessons and reflections. I hope the young people really took heed that it's nobody's coming to save us. People don't have to like you outside here. Huh?
Yeah. I just want to add one thing as we're talking about football, a matter that has been going on for 2 years now.
Yeah, we agree with that.
The Newton Ground people who are not allowed to play because the association has some problems. I mean,
that's still going, ongoing.
Yeah, ongoing. I mean, it's just I think the Newton Ground people have asked the lawyers to write to them recently.
Okay.
How could that happen?
I don't know. I really don't understand what's going on. How could that be happening? You're stopping communities and teams from participating in sport, in football.
Yeah.
And that's happening now for what, 2 seasons?
It's crazy.
On an upbeat note, St. Paul's FC is participating in a regional club tournament.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be playing a match right now as we speak. Yeah. So good luck to St. Paul's FC.
I also heard that there's some track and field event coming up shortly.
Track and field?
People, yeah. They're having it at the athletes who wanted to practice at the Kim Collins Stadium were complaining on Facebook saying that they were locked out.
Recently?
Recently. This month itself. I saw that. Check it out when you get a chance.
Okay.
Issue number 5. You had one you wanted to bring on the table?
Destiny.
Destiny?
Yes.
I thought that was dead.
No.
It's not
that
dead.
is still very much alive. You listened to the Honorable Premier yesterday at his press conference?
No. Yesterday?
He's gone, yes. Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay.
Yes. He's saying that they've gone through the processes, all the dots have been dotted and the T's crossed, and it had gone to the Prime Minister.
I thought it went to the Prime Minister already.
Yeah, but he was going through the stages that it had to go through.
Okay.
And that it was now back to the NIA for them to put in place the measures that were agreed upon.
Okay.
So my view, he was saying that they're ready now to move forward to the next stage, which is to consolidate the Destiny thing
So what's the next stage? I don't understand. What's the next stage?
The next stage is to put it in place.
So,
whatever was agreed upon. Now, there were some things that was struck out by the cabinet, the government.
Oh, so they don't get it back from the cabinet?
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, okay, I didn't understand that.
Yes.
So they got it back, and
and the next stage is for them
to correct,
implement.
Yeah, okay.
To implement whatever was disagreeable, and to put in place what is to be put in place.
Okay.
I didn't read that. I got a sense from a federal statement on the proposed Destiny
So
project.
you didn't listen to the press conference that Mark had yesterday? On Wednesday?
I saw a clip, but I also saw a federal statement
go ahead.
dated July 23.
Yeah.
Stating
It came out after this press conference.
So the federal government and the NIA held a high-level meeting July 23 on 4 major issues arising out of the application. That's the Destiny application.
Mm-hmm.
The meeting is the latest step in a review process, which started when the Cabinet Secretary of the NIA formally transmitted the application to the federal government in January 19, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll down, you see what I understand is that at the end of that high-level meeting, there were some issues that needed to be resolved, and so it was back with the NIA. The discussions held at the meeting.
By the government?
Yeah. The discussions held at the meeting, together with the fundamental project changes proposed there, are to be presented to the federal government. They will then be relayed to the Independent Oversight Committee for its input before being returned to the federal cabinet for submission.
So
what is your take?
Well, the process is still going. The process of review and refinement is still ongoing.
But it has passed the stage of the federal government.
No,
it's gone back.
It's gone back to the administration.
This is not the impression I got from what
administration.
Matt Brantley said on Wednesday. This is not my impression of what he was saying.
Yeah, but on Thursday, this is 23rd, this is yesterday.
On Thursday, the federal government put out a statement
saying that it's going back.
It's gone back to the NIA.
To come back to the federal
government. Via the independent oversight.
Going back to but they don't went through that already.
Well, sometimes things have to go through iterations.
I didn't get that impression. I must be losing my marbles. But
no.
Basically, I got the impression from the Honorable Matt Brantley that whatever processes it had to go through at that level
that was Wednesday.
Complete.
That's Wednesday. But Patrick is talking about Thursday, the day after.
I hear you, Sam.
Okay, all right.
I hear you.
Okay.
So Thursday comes after Wednesday. So no, we're not in the final. Imagine this is a relay. We're not in the final leg yet.
I see. Seems as if you guys want to stop Mark from realizing.
Who guys?
You guys. I said you guys. I mean the government, the federal government.
No, it's federal government says that we had some issues. We send it back, and when it comes back,
I have to listen to that press conference again.
No, but
not the press conference. You have to listen.
I understand the press release.
Yeah, the press release after the press conference.
It was probably put out during the press conference.
No, after. That's 23rd. The press conference was on the Wednesday, you said.
Uh-huh.
And the statement is on this press release is on
yesterday?
Thursday, yeah.
I see. Okay.
So
I listened to the Honorable Premier again because I'm sure he was saying that it is left for them now to put in place what was called for from the federal government side of things.
Yeah, but Juni was saying that on Thursday there was a response. So you can't go back to Wednesday.
But I have to go back to hear the man saying.
Yeah, well, he said that on Wednesday, and on Thursday the federal government put out a press
let's agree to
release.
Move on.
You can't go back to Wednesday
because the federal government.
You can't go back to Wednesday. Wednesday could be instructive.
Wednesday is instructive, but Thursday
is more instructive.
Yeah, right. Explain the
nuts and bolts. I see.
So Thursday explained what the federal government what the federal government expects to happen. Which is a little different to what you were saying.
What they expect to happen?
It's at the NIA right now.
No, what? Yeah, what?
It's at the NIA. They'll send it back, and it goes through the independent oversight body before submission to
You go
cabinet.
through the same process again, a second time.
A second now, whether it's a second or third time.
I see. Okay.
But the lesson here is that this is not unusual in matters of this nature. Things go through a process of review and review until you get it right.
I see.
Negotiation is like that, right?
I'm listening.
No, okay. So let's, for example, if you're building a house, you have a blueprint and you go through it with the architect. Okay, make some changes here, make some changes there. 6 months later, you have the final dream house on paper. Yeah.
I understand. I hear you.
But in the meantime, there have been some discussions on the international media about what tech billionaires are seeking to do. Have you been following that?
Tell us about that, because you sent me something about that.
Yeah, I was listening.
Read that.
The BBC has a documentary entitled Tech Billionaire Takeover.
Yeah.
And it was followed up by a podcast on BBC Global on Monday. Was that either Monday or Tuesday? Let's see if I could summarize it. It is saying that tech billionaires, especially those who subscribe to libertarianism and who use cryptocurrency, believe that they could run a nation better than Sam Conda and Junie Leiber. They also believe in minimal to zero taxes, no central banks, no democracy. The decisions will be made using blockchain technology, which is a technology I'm still trying to understand. One of their model micronations was set up in the Balkans, somewhere in the Croatia area, called Libreville. You can Google that, Libreville, where this type of arrangement is being piloted, so to speak. So it appears as though Sam and Junie, that you remember the Prospero matter in Honduras.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was yeah.
When the Hondurans thought they were getting 9, but they got a 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it appears that the pioneers of the Destiny Project are of that ilk.
Mm-hmm.
Libertarians,
Yep.
cryptocurrency, minimum state laws don't work over here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for you people over there. And the federal government and others have said, no, we have a constitution. We have our laws that govern immigration, citizenship, national security, etc., national security, etc., etc., and that the Constitution cannot be violated.
No, it's the attack on your sovereignty and your nationality, your independence. I mean, this is what these guys are about. This is clear.
It is clear in your mind that this type of investor is looking to set up an enclave.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I say it's an attack on your sovereignty.
that once they are there, they're going to have their own laws and regulations and and rules which are likely to exclude the rest of the population, which can exclude the rest of the population. Do we want that?
Well, we have said that a long time ago. We made that clear a long time ago.
Their own courts, their own police. This is the thinking behind this group who have it in their heads that this is the way in which to run a country.
Yeah. Well, they want to have a country within a country. That's their own philosophy. That's their own, policy. That's their own.
Can we abide with such a philosophical outlook?
No, that's alien. That's alien to what we believe.
Did you get in? Punch him in.
And that is what.
How can this be resolved? Because it appears from the statement that the federal government is clear in its head that the Constitution cannot be violated.
Right.
I mean, there's a quotation in the statement. There will be no compromise as far as the laws, as far as any of our laws and our Constitution is concerned, with any project in St. Kitts or in Nevis. The Constitution is supreme. No agreement and no development will be permitted to displace the Constitution, unquote.
Of course. See, in fact, we really have a lot to work to do on our Constitution, fact that people think they could be entertaining a project like that on Nevis because they have the right to do it is a problem. It is something that we have to address. And that is where the whole issue of our Constitution comes into being. You see yourself to look at that.
What, if anything, can be done to resolve this matter?
What was? I didn't get that.
What, if anything, can be done to resolve this matter?
I'm coming to get off the minds. That is not. I'm coming to get off the minds, and people have to understand what is, the vision of St. Kitts and Nevis, where we want to go, and how we're going to get there.
That's what I was going to do.
Are coming to get off the minds.
The vision for St. Kitts and Nevis back in 1983 was not apartheid.
Right.
I'm looking at the national heroes and what their vision was for us.
Hold on a second, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Freedom FM. Is this the Honorable Mark Brantley? Good afternoon.
Yes, this is Mark Brantley, Juni.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I'm not doing badly at all.
All right, we're here discussing the Destiny Project. And
who's we?
Myself, the Honorable Sam Condor.
No, Sam Condor, not
okay, he says not the Honorable, just Sam Condor.
He's no longer an honorable man?
That's what I want to know. I thought once you're honorable, you're always honorable.
Not here.
And the Honorable Dr. Patrick Martin.
Yeah.
All right.
We're here discussing the Destiny Project and the current status of it, as it were. I was told that from listening to your press conference on Wednesday that the processes, the stage that it had reached was that it was back to after coming under your purview and you scrutinized it and see, you had to refer it back to the federal government, who then put it back to the committee that looked at it already before we move forward. What's the status?
So the process in relation to this project has been that after consideration, significant public consultation in Nevis, the project would have been sent to the federal cabinet as required under the legislation for the federal government to look at, the federal cabinet to look at. The cabinet in St. Kitts, after their own deliberations, having appointed a committee and all of that, they would have written indicating that they had, I think it was 4 substantive issues that they wanted clarification and or some resolution of. My understanding is that on Wednesday of this week, there would have been a meeting between representatives of the federal cabinet, headed by the Honorable Attorney General, representatives from my cabinet in Nevis, the Honorable Spencer Brandon, our legal advisor, and representatives from the Destiny Development Group. And that at that meeting, those outstanding issues were discussed, and my understanding was that a resolution was achieved. Now, what the process is that the federal government has then decided that they will then send that resolution back to their committee, and for that committee then to advise the federal cabinet further. So that is my understanding of where things currently stand. But based on the information that I have, those 4 issues that had been articulated, that those 4 issues, a resolution has been found to those 4 outstanding issues. So it has really come down now to a question of timing in terms of the committee looking at it, and thereafter for the federal government through its cabinet to make a determination that their concerns, as articulated in a letter to us from the Honorable Prime Minister, those issues have been properly resolved to their satisfaction. So that is where the matter now stands, as far as I'm aware.
Gentlemen, any comments for the Honorable Matt Brantley?
No, I think basically that is what Patrick was saying. Right. You said the press conference sent the matter to the cabinet, right. And then Patrick was saying that he heard the press statement, and what the Premier just said was what Patrick said in his press statement.
Premier, what's the next step after it has gone to where it is right now? What's the next step after
It's going back to the cabinet to make a decision.
Yeah, I know, but after that, after it's been through all the processes.
So we are assuming that the cabinet the federal cabinet having raised its issues, and those issues now having been resolved, that the next process obviously would be for a signature to an amended agreement by the federal government. And if that is done, then the next step under the legislation is for the matter to go to the Nevis Island Assembly, and thereafter to go to the National Assembly. And so the anticipation would be that this agreement would then obviously be available to the members of the public for their input, so that we could then amend further, adjust further as the need may be. But certainly this legislation, which I have really touted as legislation that is far in advance of what we've ever had in the country, because this is the only legislation, the SSD legislation, which mandates that projects have to come to the Parliament and therefore have to endure public scrutiny. When we consider, Junie, the number of projects that have been done in this country, as long ago as 35 years with the Four Seasons in Nevis, Christoph Harbour, Kittitian Hill, the Marriott, Joe Public has never seen those agreements. The press has never seen those agreements. The SSD legislation mandates that those agreements have to be made public. And so I think that despite all the chatter, and there's been a lot of chatter, much of it ill-informed, that this is, in my view, a quantum leap forward in terms of transparency and openness, because everybody will know what has been agreed, everybody will know what has been proposed, and we have an opportunity for people to weigh in and for this to further inform and refine the process. So I think that this legislation really has been vilified in some quarters, but I think it really takes us a long way forward from where we were, where agreements were done between governments and developers, and nobody knew what those agreements entailed. And many years after, people still don't know. You have two members there who are part of the group of pundits in the country. I don't know that they've ever seen the Crystal Harbor Agreement or the Marriott Agreement, as the case may be. I have certainly not seen them, and there are many Nevis who have never seen the Four Seasons Agreement. But this agreement, in relation to Project Destiny, has to come to the general public. So, Juni, you will see it. The press will see it. Everybody will see it. And we'll have an opportunity to comment further. But as far as we are currently aware, as of Wednesday, the remaining issues have been resolved. And so it's now a question for the federal process. The Prime Minister, in his right, would have put a committee together. So my understanding is that that resolution goes to the committee and then back to the cabinet. So we expect now that those issues have been cleared away, and we look forward to moving forward to the next stage.
All right, gentlemen, that's the Honorable Mark Brantley. Any comments, Patrick? Patrick? No. Sam, you okay?
Yeah.
The volume down on my headphones. Dr. Brantley. Honorable Mark Brantley, just a quick thought here. We've heard some people who have called in to talk shows to indicate that they don't like the process because it's recolonization, it's creation of a state within a state, it's divesting the vision of their lands and so on. How do you respond to this kind of talk?
The state within a state nonsense, I will refer to it as nonsense because that's what it is. You can't have a state within a state in a country that is governed by a constitution. And any development has to abide by the Constitution. The Prime Minister has said that repeatedly. I have said that repeatedly. And so that is just what I would call the opposition propaganda. So I would dismiss that out of hand. Recolonization, I'm not sure what that means, Juni. Is Christopher Harbour recolonization of St. Kitts?
Nevis.
Is Kitishan Hill recolonization of St. Kitts?
Uh-huh.
So I'm not understanding this notion of recolonization. The country must decide whether it wants foreign investment or it doesn't. And if we say we want foreign investment, and the whole region, in fact, the whole world, is looking for investment. If we say we want foreign investment and we get foreign investment, then we don't turn around and vilify that as recolonization. I would remind you and your listeners that this country pioneered a citizenship by investment program way back in 1984. If the numbers that we have heard are correct, then St. Kitts and Nevis potentially has over 50,000 economic citizens out there, all of whom have the right to come and live and work and invest. Mr. Jensen, who is the proponent of the Destiny Project, is a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis and has been for nearly a decade. So when we talk about recolonization, I'm not understanding what exactly we're talking about. In addition to that, the lands at issue in Nevis are private lands. I think that has been lost in some of the discussion. And being private lands, it therefore means that those private landowners have the right to sell or not to sell, as is their wish. I can't, as government, tell a man what to do with his land. I don't know what the needs of that man might be. He may have children to send to school. He may have an illness. He may want to invest in something else. That is his right. That right is a right that every property owner in the country has. So if they're talking about people selling out, it is not an accusation or an attack that is validly geared or directed at the government, because the government has not sold 1 square inch of land for this project. All the lands that we're hearing about are privately held lands. And they're lands being held in an area of Nevis on the south coast, Juni, where there's absolutely nothing. The only activity happening on the south coast of Nevis is erosion by the Atlantic Ocean. There are no roads, no water, no electricity. The lands are scrub lands, so they're unsuitable for farming. There is nothing happening over there. And there's nothing that has been happening over there now, certainly in my lifetime. And I'm almost ready for Social Security. So the truth is that when I hear the chatter, I keep asking the question, If not a development like this, then what then are those who say they are opposed? What are they proposing? You know what I found interesting in all of this discussion? You're not hearing the landowners in the area calling in the radio station to say they object to the project. You know why? Because the landowners in the area are happy to sell their lands because they don't see that in their lifetime there will be any development of that part of Nevis, because to get roads and water and electricity and all of that over there, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And so what we did with these developers, we said to them, hey, if you're going to come in and you're going to invest, you have to provide your own water, you have to provide your own electricity, 70% of which has to be renewable, you have to provide your own roads and infrastructure, you have to provide your own garbage disposal, so that there's no burden on the taxpayer of the country. That is what we have negotiated. So I think sometimes these projects are better evaluated on the facts and to keep the emotion and the hysteria out of it. Words like colonialism and all of those. I don't know, Junior, about you, but nobody can colonialize Mark Brantley. Nobody can come back to make Nevis a colony. And so sometimes I think that those who know better need to do better, speak better, and let us try to educate our people. Because if we're out there saying that we're looking for foreign investment, we cannot, when that foreign investment comes, resort to old tired expressions about colonialism and the like. We have, I think, as a country to start to think seriously. We have a situation, Junie, where the EU has signed the death warrant of our CBI, regardless of what anybody else may say. CBI will never be what it used to be in terms of generating revenue for us. So the questions we must now start to confront is, what are the options available to St. Kitts and Nevis? Where do we go? How do we diversify? How do we provide a standard of living for our people? In Nevis, I have 300 children coming out of school each year looking for work. The old ways of telling them, go to America and go to England and go to Canada. Those countries, through their immigration policies, are shutting those doors to us. We have to provide for our people right here. And if we do not have the capital locally to develop, to invest, to expand the GDP and expand the economy, then we must, like every other country in the world, look for foreign investment. Even the great United States of America is looking for foreign investment. So my thing is that as a people, we need to have the real conversations. Put the hysteria aside, put the senseless emotion aside, and have a real conversation. I don't mind if somebody says, I don't like the Destiny Project, but that can't be just a full stop. That must be a comma. You must then go on to tell me, what do you propose as a viable option instead of that? And in my experience, when you ask people, if not this, then what? The conversation ends. Because in our country, we have a lot of criticism. We have very few solutions. So that is my view. I'm happy that you called me and I was able to come in and say a few words. But at any point in time you wish to engage me, I'm available. Because I think that there's been so much unfortunate misinformation and preying on people's emotions about a project. All right. Christopher Harbour came, Junie, 2,400 acres on the Southeast Peninsula. I never heard no big protest, no marching, no anything about Christopher Harbour. No state within a state, no colonialism, none of that. It's a big development that hopefully will benefit over the fullness of time the economy here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I asked the question because the question being asked in Nevis, and perhaps your panelists can engage, is the opposition, particularly here in Bastia, by some people, to that project is because it's a Nevis project. I don't mean to offend when I say that, but I'm asking that question because we have had mega projects happening on the island of St. Kitts, and I've not had this. I've not heard this. I didn't hear this for Kittitian Hill. I didn't hear this for La Vallée. I didn't hear this for Christopher Harbour. I didn't hear this for the Ramada. But a project in Nevis that will help to diversify the Nevisian economy and create jobs and create activity, I have pundits in Sinky saying that project is bad and we shouldn't have that project. My question is, why the duality? Why the difference in treatment? That's a matter I think that all of us will have to consider and to think about. But for my part, as the Premier of Nevis, I want, need, and I'm dedicated to the development of the island of Nevis. And whether it's Destiny or some other project, I am out there. I'm looking for private investment. I'm looking for foreign investment. I'm looking for local investment. I want to be able to look those 300 young people in the eye each year and say, Nevis is providing work for you, opportunity for you. I want our entrepreneurs to grow, small businesses to become medium and big businesses. That is my passion. That is my mandate. And I'm not going to resile from that.
All right.
So whoever wants to engage in the punditry, that's okay. We live in a democracy, and in a democracy, everybody's allowed to have their opinion. I am concerned with solutions, and I don't think, Junie, with all due respect, that the country is really treating and engaging with the reality that if CBI goes away, what is there that is left to take this country to the next level? Nobody seems to be having that conversation. And we have a bird in the hand, and we are more intent on killing that bird, chasing it away, without somebody saying, well, I don't like that bird. I have a different bird that I would want to bring. Now, that's a conversation which I think is constructive, because that says to me, we've given this some thought. We don't like this ground dove that you have. We have an eagle that we can bring instead. But don't kill my ground dove and you can't offer me an eagle. Right. The old people in Nevis say, don't box bread out of a man's mouth and you can't give him biscuit.
True.
And that is my concern.
Right.
So I'm grateful for the time, as I said.
Yes.
And anytime you need me, just call on me, okay? God bless.
Thank you so much, Honorable Matt Brantley, for your time.
All right.
All right. All right, so gentlemen, we heard from Matt Brantley. He said a mouthful. Any comments?
Yeah, well,
yes, go ahead,
first
sir.
of all, I'm happy about the SSG Act, right? I think that is well needed. Because I believe if we had the SSG Act, we wouldn't have had Christopher Harbour. But Christopher Harbour is not a destiny. None of them. Destiny is different and...
In a class by itself.
Yeah. You don't have nobody building their own roads, their own water, their own electricity, their own all kind of things. That is not... We don't have no project like that in St. Kitts. But I am happy, and I'm glad he mentioned that, because I'm saying that if we had the SSG, we wouldn't have had Christopher Harbour. He was right. He's right. There wasn't a discussion and debate which this act said you must have to have projects like that, of that size. And if we had that, we wouldn't have Christopher Harbour. And I agree with that. And I like the project. But Destiny is not a project that I will support. And it has gone on to because of Nevis. You know? They like to pull this card, Nevis and St. Kitts. You know? The majority of people in St. Kitts, well, I would say, I don't know anybody in St. Kitts who wouldn't want the best for Nevisians. It is nothing about Nevis. It is about what is good for St. Kitts and Nevis. And Destiny Project ain't good for Nevis, it ain't good for St. Kitts. That project what they're talking about. That is why you're going through so many things. And I want to bet that, well, the Premier said that the issues have been resolved. So we're going to see what happens, because it's gone back to the committee. And then it's going to go to the cabinet again. And then go to the Nevis Parliament and the St. Kitts Parliament. So that is what the SSU provides. And I like that. Because we will show that thing. Because, like I say, Christopher Harbour is not a project that we were happy about completely, even people inside the cabinet. But we didn't have the wherewithal, like we have in the SSG now, to go through those different stages to make sure we get what we want.
Yeah, that's the sound.
Yep.
Dr. Martin?
I support the view that the SSZ Act, imperfect as it is a good thing for this country.
Absolutely.
Because for the first time in our history, since August 2025, any development, any project that seeks to create a special economic zone has to go through a process which involves the National Assembly.
That's right.
And before that, public review. Right. With respect, the references to Christoph Harbour, Four Seasons, Petition Hill, etc., is conflation. They came before SSZ. And but I agree with you that if we had an SSZ since independence, that we'd be having a different conversation.
Absolutely.
I think one more thing, but two more things. I think that the conversation the people of St. Kitts and Nevis are having is about the merits and demerits of a project called Destiny. The project has a certain philosophical outlook to it, libertarianism, it would appear. And that is a cause for concern.
Absolutely.
Because persons of that ilk have already stated, and we made reference to the documentary on BBC and New York Times article February 26, what they are about. They are about zero taxes, having their own regulations, etc. And that has come up against our Constitution, and it was good that certain committee that was good that people went to the public meetings, and people wrote in, and that the federal government paid attention to public views on this matter. I think that with the decline of CBI, we will go forward on renewable energy, principally geothermal and solar. We will go forward on expanded food production. We will go forward in continuing to promote St. Kitts and Nevis as places where manufacturing can take place, and manufacturing is taking place. We'll go forward in yachting and home porting. We'll go forward in promoting St. Kitts and Nevis as a logistics hub for the region. So it's a diversification of the economy we shall go forward on, and away from the sole reliance or heavy reliance on CBI. In the final analysis, it's this program is about all ideas contending.
Okay, it's 8 minutes before the 2 o'clock. The lines are going off.
No, you can stay.
We'll stay. Open the line. Yeah, we can stay over time.
Stay? Okay, we'll stay.
Stay a little bit over time today. Started a bit late.
Yeah, it looks so.
So we're going to open the lines 465-6474, 465-0546 or 662-1065. And you could comment on anything that you've heard or may not have heard here on Groundings today. Let's take our first caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Greetings all.
Greetings.
Okay. Let's get started. Let's start with the gun thing. Now, if this we are sending 100 pounds of ganja a Caribbean country, I think it's whatever purpose that is legal, as we have, it is our sacrament, and it's coming up on it. And we give advance down to the state, and give advance down to the state, and the sound coming and the state no give it the attention in the ample time that it should. And we go on and send it down there. and even notify, say, yeah, me can get them country. Not only would my ganja be held, but me would get away. X would get away. We see this gun thing here as a whole heap of foolishness with the system, and it depends on who you are. And really funny, it is not a good example to treat people who are not full of ordinary people, especially with the problems that we are having, just like other Caribbean people, with the gun thing, and the murders, etc. But as I say, they are free. They are free. Okay. We want to move on and say the Guyana situation with the boat. They always say, the abominable class system, they go, because that transport there, it's a transport for the people that is called third class citizens, not middle, not upper. And that transport there has been carrying people. How much is every bullet? 310? That transport there has been carrying people for over 310. So it's either the maintenance be continually be upping up, I come off of the sea. But the way the system is with the crafting is steady and see live glass. Okay.
Okay, thanks so much for calling.
Let me come to the situation with the destiny now. No, we just say, that we want destiny get to win. So after the fine print, and we spoke to the Honorable Premier on his program, and we raised the issue of something being said again that we're going to use money. We super millionaires, they don't want the money. They don't want the money. They have money galore. Millionaires just want to lay back and undisturbed. They say this is too much. They're going to use the money. I mean, who use the money? You use CBI, especially CBI money. That CBI thing should be used there. So, what we say, to conclude, we say, me in Dr. Marty. But we can do to up the thing, when we that CBI after. But, as the Honorable Premier said, a bird in hand. So, me like the fight with them to resolve, and the project got to and leave his people in general benefit and think it too, because it will benefit too. I think we have said enough. We want to wish everybody all the best. But thanks.
Thank you so much for calling. Let's take some more calls. Caller, you're next. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Juni, and good afternoon to your distinguished panelists. I'm so glad that this thing has come up again and showed how democratic we are, that we have this freedom of expression on your station, and we have all these two dignitaries here who can help to facilitate a discussion, including with the key person from the Nevis end, the Premier, to come in and speak, because it also exposes certain things. Now, I'm glad that Ambassador Conda and Dr. Martin said something very critical. That is that this Destiny project is not like the other projects. Mm-hmm. That is one of the reasons why you had to actually have a chapeau, overriding legislation under which that development falls. But even if it is situated in Nevis, if those persons, talking about 30,000 persons potentially in a country of 53, then whose country is it going to be? It's going to remain our country or somebody else's over time? What is there for our young people to gravitate to? And it's interesting to see that even with Frigate Bay and Sugar thing, if the Bratcher of the day did not set that foundational base where we have the sugar estate lands to do different things with, including for whether it's private or for government schools and for different things, for the Frigate Bay development to turn into what it is. He had to buy it from the Wrigley's. All of these were private property. I think, all due respect to the Premier of Nevis, that he is trivializing this whole aspect of the private sector or the private land, because he's saying that these were private lands, the Frigate Bay and also the sugar estate. But government had to take certain controls and regulate certain things there. And my final point on this is the point, though, about the CBI and the money depleted is another reason why, and I hate to keep bringing this up, why our government made a big mistake when it takes a $200 million project plus Bastia High School, and a good portion of that money is going to be spent in another island when we could have been generating jobs, economic activity, skills for our young people here, right? It's gone elsewhere. So we have to also look at the fact that if we know that CBI is going to be diminished, look at means where our people here can help ourselves and set the basis for that. So again, I am very happy that this thing is being aired so that everybody can get a part, and I hope this could be a good measure for the government going forward. You have to let us, the people, other people, you don't have complete information and knowledge on things. Expose it so other people can get a buy into it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Willa. Appreciate that call and your comments. We have some more calls coming in, gentlemen, so let's take them now. Good afternoon. Welcome to Groundings.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I don't know about anybody else, but I cringed when I heard Premier Brantley being so dismissive about colonialism and those kinds of things. Okay? He has to remember what times we're living in, even right now, where larger nations are planning to take over smaller ones. And so for him to just dismiss it like that, I thought it was strange of him as a leader. Right? I listened to him the other night talking about the same Destiny Project. And he was lambasting the expatriate community in Nevis who participated in a march against it. Basically saying that they were the descendants of our colonizers, right? And basically saying that, well, they don't have a right to be protesting because they're not from here. But at the same time, irony of ironies, he is willing to welcome over 10,000 same expatriates to come to Nevis. It just seems contradictory. Anyway, with regards your intervention on the AI takeover, okay, I would dovetail that with the other comment that was made about the crypto billionaires who think they could do a better job of running countries. Unfortunately, many subscribe to that. Basically, they're suggesting if you are successful in one particular area, you could easily transfer it to another area. Well, we see the results of that thinking. We see what's his name, Musk, has done with that government department, Doge. We've seen what Trump himself has been doing, and he was a successful businessman. So it does not necessarily follow that these skills and resources and all those things are transferable. All right? I think we should be very careful of what any kind of intelligence does, right? Whether it's artificial or otherwise, because what do you expect an intelligent being to do? But defend itself from all comers and also make sure that it perpetuates itself, right? And so we should not be surprised if AI don't build system to protect itself and be just as aggressive as any other intelligent human being might be. Okay, and finally, I just hope that that kind of thinking don't take hold in St. Kitts. I mean, we've seen what our pre-independence leaders have been like. We've seen what they managed to do with unshoestering budgets, with non-formal education, with generally meager resources. Mm-hmm. And they did a good job. Mm-hmm. Compared to now where we have CBI, we have lots of university-trained leaders and the works, but we're still fighting to get to where we really where we need to be. Mm-hmm. So, we should be careful about embracing this elitist idea that, only the elites can run a country. Mm-hmm. I really thought I'd mention that.
All right.
Okay, then.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, it's just about 6 minutes after 3 o'clock. Let's take 2 more calls and wrap it up. Mm-hmm. You wanted to comment something?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. All right, let's take this caller.
Yeah, go. Take a call, man.
Caller, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Call more important than anything.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
My question, right, and my observation and suggestion and reasoning is that why is it, right, when these so-called investors come to St. Kitts Nevis, right, they stop coming with the briefcase that usually don't have anything in it, but they're coming to use the SIDF money to fund the projects that they say they want to do. I thought that investors usually would bring money into your country.
Bring their own money.
Yes, their own money into your country and invest, right? But now we're seeing that they are coming and using the SIDF money. Look, for instance, the prison would have given 5,500 shares. Now we're hearing that the Destiny is asking for 10,000 shares, right? And if that is given to them, the 10,000 shares, you're looking at they're making over $3 billion from those shares, right? Would it take $3 billion to outfit to build out that project? I don't think so. And then we small business here in St. Kitts, when we want money to set up a small business or help our small business, we are asked to go and take a personal loan, not a business loan. A personal loan which will give you have you taking a higher interest loan, not a business loan. And we're hearing that these people coming in and they're getting SIDF money, all these years to build their project. You want to know what's wrong with our leaders, man, and our own self too. Then what they're doing, what these same people are doing, the countries where these people coming from, what they're doing now, they tell us, we must stop with SIDF, the program, we must done with the program, and do what? Come back, go beg them? We must go back to beg them. While we are giving the citizens with money to say they come invest. Something got to be wrong with us, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your input. Let's take another caller at 9 minutes after the 3 o'clock hour. The lines are plentiful today. Let's take another caller. Caller, turn your radio down. Go ahead.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, I listen to the programs then, right? And I had to call in today. Because it seemed like something, lock off the radio. It seemed like something wrong with our leaders. Not only here in St. Kitts, in the Caribbean. Because investors coming here and getting so much of benefit. Like the last caller said. The last caller is right. Well, we have to give them our passport to sell, for them to get money, to start a business. But people here want money to start a business and can't get it. Eh? No, with Mark Bradley wrong, Because racism always around. You can't wipe it out. I still online?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
You can't wipe out racism. Matt Bradley making this project to be, these people to be perfect people. Who perfect in the world? Nobody perfect. They're going to be racism. I woke up Marriott and there was racism. You had white people didn't like black people at all. And no matter when you go work, our company come in, they're going to be racism. They're going to like black people. So Matt Bradley wrong. He's making this project to be perfect and these people to be perfect. They're not perfect. And I blame I blame people like Jimmy Labott and Sam Kondo and Dr. Martin because you all don't be up front. You all need to be up front and tell our leaders they're wrong. What they're doing to people in the country is wrong. Dead wrong.
So will you tell them they're right when they're wrong?
Because these are the projects that come in here. Black people get knocked out. Black people in this country get knocked out. Can't done.
Okay.
Another thing again, the Prime Minister, Dr. Drew, he needs to stand up as a man and say whether he like the project or he like the project. These loader committee don't make sense. Come to the front.
Yes.
You is the Prime Minister of the country. If you don't like the project, tell Mark Bradley straight out you don't like the project.
Straight up.
And I'm not going to sign for that. You all need to be straight up. You all need to be straight up and be frank with our politicians. You all not straight up and frank. You all keep going around the bush and going around the bush. It's time we stop going around the bush.
All right.
And when our leaders is wrong, or they're doing something wrong,
tell them
we come up forefront, straight up and tell them they're wrong.
Okay.
They're wrong. Black people are like a knockdown from these companies who are coming in the country. I could testify to that.
All right. Listen, we're going to take some more calls. Thank you for your call. We appreciate you calling. Call back some more on Monday. All right, thanks so much. Let's get some more calls.
Not Monday, next Friday.
Next Friday.
No, they can start on Monday morning.
Exactly. You have a lot to say. Caller, you're next. Go ahead, please.
Friday.
Yes, go ahead.
Go there. Now, what I wanted to know, I heard Mark speak about the dialysis machine system we're building in Nevis.
Yeah.
And it looked like, from my understanding, it looked like Destiny has a hand in it. Did he come to the floor or tell the people of Nevis about it beforehand? Or it seems to me now, because question being raised, is like you're saying to us, well, you all don't want Destiny, but at the same time, Destiny is helping us into this and helping us into that. Now, I just heard the caller speak about Dr. Joe should come out and say whether he liked the project or not. The point that Dr. Joe brings, and to me, it is simple and easy to understand. You go ahead and do your Destiny thing, because what is happening over there in Nevis is in Nevis. But all what I am saying to you, my brother, whatever you're going to do, make sure that it do not violate our constitution. I believe that is fair enough. It's like you have a piece of land and your child says, Daddy and Mommy, I want to build something in the backyard. You say, okay, darling, no problem. But there is rules. I don't feel, to me, I don't see anything wrong with the point that Dr. Joe is raising. You could go ahead and do your thing, you is your own man, but make sure you don't break the law. Now, what I have, the problem that I have, Juni, too, with our leaders for years, we've been hearing people saying they want to set up a business, they want to do this, they want to do that. And the amount of hard time our people are getting to get off of the ground, I don't know if they want us to bleach our skin so that and wear a little jacket and a little briefcase in we hand, for them to pay some kind of attention to young people and, poor people alike. Because it seems to me, foreigners and them, they will come in and get a smooth saying when our own people, hells and devil, we got to go through. With that Destiny Project, you see that Destiny Project, Junior, I can tell you something. To me, that's my view, to me, it come at a time where they know somebody is behind this thing, where they know in 2 years' time the CBI is going to collapse. And it's as like they are saying to you now, you have Destiny Project or your people face hunger again. Make a decision. And I believe that is why at this time this Destiny Project come true. I could be wrong, but as we go along, all those you hear who making noise over Destiny, eventually look like they're going to have to accept Destiny when they realize food can't be on our tables. I thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take one more call at almost a quarter past 3. Let's take this caller. Caller, your final call. Go ahead. Hello? Okay, he hung up. He's calling back. Let's try him again. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon. How is everyone doing?
Everyone doing well.
Good. I want to touch on the Destiny/jobs. Nevis, I'm a Nevis fan. Nevis run about 12 to 13,000 people, and our workforce just basically from about Nevis as well, out of that 13,000 people. The Destiny propose 10,000 people, minimum 4 per family, give them at least 40,000 people. What these people will be doing in there? Sitting down, doing nothing? Will the Nevision will go in and work, or these people will be doing their own work? How much jobs will Nevision get inside there? Doesn't seem to me like that. I don't know. Something is not adding up. And, Matt Brantley is making it seems like it's about people pushing back the project. It's the way, most of it is the way he came about with the project, like a thief in the night, secretly, and he self create more questions than answers from this project. So it's not about the people. It's the way how he came about with the project. So that's just my input.
All right, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate your call out of Nevis. It's just about 17 minutes after the 3 o'clock hour. Gentlemen, we've had a very interesting, informative program today. Let's wrap it up. Sam?
No, I usually go first.
Oh, Martin? Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Don't change the order.
Not change the batting order at all.
Gentlemen, I think we have had a good program.
Excellent.
Because this program, which started looking at our development prospects, right? Our ability to survive and thrive in a world that is hostile to small states. Huh? The Washington Post, a well-renowned newspaper in Washington, D.C., has the caption, "Democracy dies in darkness."
Mm-hmm.
To my mind, the SSZ Act, imperfect as it is, brought development agreements into the sunshine for the people to weigh in. People have weighed in their various ways since August or maybe July 2025, and some of the talk has been had. So this arena is not for thin-skinned people, just like World Cup football. But it is what it is. It's a democracy. Speaking of democracy, my understanding is that the pioneers of the Destiny Project are not for democracy as we understand it. I stand corrected, but my reading of what libertarians are about, or libertarianism, and the crypto billionaires of this world are about, suggests that they have a different view as to how a country should be run. So I am recommending that listeners Google Liberville, Liberville, Ville, and follow the links. This one more. The timelines. To correct, I got a message. Let's correct the timelines. The high-level meeting between the NIA, federal government, and Destiny Project people took place on Wednesday. Wednesday was the 22nd. The Premier's press conference was Thursday, the 23rd. The federal government's press release was also on Thursday, the 23rd. Okay, so I just want to make sure we got it. So this discussion is taking place within a global environment where might is right, And our people, we have a firm understanding of the history of colonialism and slavery, and might is right, and the Dunroe and Monroe doctrines. We have a firm understanding of that. So
but he said that is not what Destiny is about.
It must be the expectation that we will weigh in, knowing our history.
Of course. You have to put things in
and so
context.
this debate will continue. It says here that the high-level meeting took place on July 23rd. The discussions held at that meeting, together with the fundamental project changes proposed there, are to be presented to the federal government.
This is what you were saying.
They will then be relayed to the Independent Oversight Committee for its input before being returned to the federal cabinet for consideration.
And then back to the National Assembly. So we get the picture.
So there's a process, and the process is governed by the Act.
Sam,
your
time. Your time to preach.
Yeah. Say that again?
Your time to preach.
Your turn will come too.
My turn to speak. I want to echo the sentiment that's expressed by Dr. Martin. Basically, this Destiny Project is going to be here for a long time. We're going to be discussing this every week for so many weeks to come.
Ad infinitum.
Ad infinitum. And so we are going to bring up this. But out of this Destiny Project brings me to two issues I want to raise briefly. And those are issues that are going to be here for a long time too. Because it's out of Destiny that we have these issues here. And the two issues were the issues that Dwyer raised at his commentary this week. The productivity and constitutional reform. And those are matters which we have to think. I just want to say that briefly on the Destiny, on the productivity thing that we have been established for 1 year now. We have set up a tripartite productivity council which comprises members of government, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, the workers' organization, trade unions, and we have members from the central bank. That is the committee that meeting to look at productivity. We believe that this is going to modernize and transform the economy. And there's serious work doing it. In fact, already we have been looking at international organizations, UN organizations, like we have met with, we have engaged ECLAC, UNIDO, UNCTAD, that's the international organization, and in the region, we have engaged with people like Trinidad and Tobago, countries like Trinidad and Tobago and St. Lucia. And we are laying the groundwork in which we are going to get our business going. So I want to encourage people to stay tuned in the next couple of days. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be having our secretariat, I hope, established. We have the institutional strengthening. We are going to do our data diagnosis and analysis, launching the productivity. Then we are going to have a national consultation. We are hoping that will come in about a month's time. And we are going to have a policy development for them. So the Productivity Council is up and going, and we'll be coming to the country. We believe that, like I said, is going to modernize. Mr. Brantley is asking, Premier Brantley is asking what's happening to our country. This is what we're doing. We're going to engage with the central bank as well, the big push in terms of how we're going to get forward, and so on. This is what we do it. And the other thing I want to talk about, which Dwyer spoke about, is the constitutional reform. And again, not only destiny, but other areas, we have to look at our constitution again, to look and see. So we're going to be looking at those matters more in depth over the next week. Destiny, Productivity Council, constitutional reform.
I like that part about the constitutional reform.
Definitely, that
We've
is
been
serious.
talking about constitutional reform for ages, and nothing has been done that has not been addressed in a fundamental way.
In fundamental, that's the word I was going to use. Because take something like, for example, citizenship.
Yes.
You know, our second generation of Kittitian and Nibian can't get no passport. But
True.
we got CBI thing, and people come here live for 17 years and they get a passport. And our citizens, in fact, we have been celebrating Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
We have taken him to Government House and all the rest of it. Marcus Rashford. We are celebrating because these are second generations.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people, professional people out here. And we have to find a way in our constitution to embrace them.
Change the constitution.
Change the constitution. That's the point.
Correct.
That's the point.
That's
the constitution. In fact,
I agree with you 100%.
I have already recommended, we need to, because this constitution, Patrick don't like hear me say it. This constitution ain't really what nothing, I mean, the constitution is so flawed, it ain't funny. Too transactional.
Successive governments have taken power.
I mean, we
promising
really want to do
change
something
the
about our
and
constitution.
they do absolutely nothing.
We have to do something about it. That is.
I agree with you, Sam.
I have recommended that we make the constitutional report for public reading, print it, put it out in the schools, the libraries, CFBC.
Which report? Which report?
The constitutional talks.
From London?
Yeah,
It's
in
not
London.
online. It's not online.
Is that? No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I mean, it is just, we need to discuss in that and do something with our constitution that is fundamental to our going forward.
Some good points. You're strong today.
Okay.
Had a good lunch. Yes, well, that's all for issues, groundings for today. I just want to be mindful of the fact that the Honorable Matt Brantley said that he's available.
Yeah.
So we will have him back on groundings at some point or on issues so that people can call in and he addressed the issues raised by the people.
So I like the fact that he takes calls on his Wednesday program. That's a very good thing, isn't it?
And
some politicians come here and they never take a call up to now,
Yeah. People have to start talking about people they want the political, the Nevis thing. He got to done with this Nevis story.
Well,
But Nevis thing, it's St. Kitts Nevis.
Yeah.
We want the best for St. Kitts and Nevis.
Point. But that's how he feels, so you have to say what he has to say. But thank you so much, people, for joining us. You've been a very watchful, vigilant audience and tell us when we're wrong. But as Martin says, all sides contend.
That's Sam.
That's Sam?
Yeah, he
okay.
wrote that here.
You just say it too.
Well, copy. I was copying.
Copy. Okay, ditto. So thanks again. And Peter Adrian will be up on Monday for another edition of Issues. Join him then. Until, take care, have a blessed weekend, and God bless you all. Good afternoon. DJ Rinch is up next. EK the Real Right. Then Simeon takes us up to midnight.
Freedom FM 106.5 FM. World-class radio at its finest. At its finest. 106.5 Freedom FM.
Football fans, listen up! This coming Saturday 25th, come to the Atiba Harris Sporting Complex for the opening of the Honorable Dr. David Shue St. Peter's Football League. 6 teams in the gamble, but there can only be one champion. 6 mil, Triple R Nation, Up Down South, Douglas Ballers, Plus City, and Ambassadors. That show kicks off from 5 p.m. right after the opening ceremony. We dive straight into action. At 6:30, it's gonna be Triple R Nation versus Uptown South. And to close out the night, Floss City versus Douglas Ballers. So if you like me and want some football action, see you at the Atiba Harris Sporting Complex this coming Saturday from 5 p.m. for the opening of the Honorable